title of this practice and support session is that the truth is curative. And so I want to address what I mean by that first, and then we can go from there and look at how to use this framework to help us heal, feel better, be better inside. So let's start with this. What do I mean by truth? Since that could be interpreted in many different ways. And what I'm talking about primarily is your personal alignment with your conscience. I'm not focusing on external opinions of what you should or shouldn't do. That can come into play with this process, but the starting point is being aligned with your conscience. There's a very profound connection I have observed, and I've read about it, but I've actually, more than anything, I've observed it in myself and people I know really well, and also my clients, is that there's this misalignment. When people have chronic conditions, chronic pain and mental issues and PTSD, there's this misalignment between what the person really, who they really are, what they're really thinking and feeling, and what they say and do. And what healing requires is repairing the ability to hear or sense, and then therefore act and speak in accordance with your conscience. So exercises. So here's what I want to start with. And I think what we're going to do is have a couple minutes per question. We're going to actually use some of the somatic exercise stuff too. Well, let's start by increasing our awareness of what's true for us. So the first question is, what does your inner voice continually nag you about? And I want to be clear that it's not always verbal, right? So it's like a sense, an anxiety or what. And what I wanted you to try to flesh out is, what specifically is it bugging you about, if you can find it. So let's start with that. So 2 minutes, let's say, what does your inner voice continuously nag you about? Okay, that's 2 minutes. Right, the next thing we're going to do, and so this is kind of a visualization right now, because I want you to connect with this, and then I want you to write it down. Remember a time when you spoke and acted from the best part of yourself, and you felt what? What did you feel when you did that? In your body and your mind and your kind of sense of being alive, what was going on inside you as you went through these sequence of decisions or movements towards things that were right for you? So see if you can remember how it felt, what the circumstances were, even like What was your life like at that point? And what did you feel in your body? What did you think, and how did things feel to you when you were in that place of honoring that voice that said, do this and say this, go for this thing, say no to that person, go to college this place, whatever it is. I mean, or even, I really feel like eating pork chops tonight, and you do it, and then you have this sense of rightness in it, whatever it is. So let's take 2 minutes to write about that, something about that, and see if you could connect with what your body feels like when you're doing that. That's about 2 minutes. All right. Now we want to do the kind of the polar opposite. So now I want you to think of a time when you said something that wasn't true for whatever reason, did something you didn't really want to do. I mean, really didn't want to do. I don't mean that you went along with it because you love someone. I'm talking about something that you truly did not want to do. And you did it anyway, for whatever reason. So there's no judgment here. It's not a value judgment. It's just, and what did it feel like in you when you were in that place? You could even, putting up with someone that isn't supportive or abusive or whatever it is. Let's do that for 2 minutes. Okay, that's been 2 minutes. Now, I'm going to have you do another exercise in relationship to one of those things that is nagging you. Okay? So this is something that is bugging you. It could be bugging you about your life. It's bugging you about someone else or a situation you're in or about you. So here's what I want you to ask yourself. In this specific situation, circumstance, dynamic, do I need to stand up for myself or do I need to face myself? And here's why this is what this means is that sometimes what we're not doing is actually speaking up or standing up to something that is not right. That's the stand up for yourself. Sometimes there's part of us that is undeveloped or immature, same thing, in some way. And what we really need to do is to grow up and face ourselves. In other words, we have to confront ourselves rather than someone else. And many situations are a hybrid of those two. But I want you to take something about your nagging voice that it's talking about, and I want you to ask that question. And by the way, this question is actually from Jordan Peterson. This is one of the things he says a lot. I think it's very helpful. So let's take 2 minutes to ponder a situation where you can ask yourself those two questions about the situation or issue. Okay, that's 2 minutes, and if you need a little more time, that is fine. So it's amazing how this really is. The thing about truth is it requires a total commitment, right? And faith. So you run into religious terms, there's a faith factor there that you need to believe that if you tell the truth as you see it and act on it 100%, it will, by definition, be the best possible thing to do. What will come from it is the best possible thing possible. But you have to trust it because there's all this editing we do around that. And what I'm not saying is that you should just go spouting whatever you think all the time. That's not what I mean. It's the conscious telling you, because often the conscious tells you to shut up too. Sometimes you have an urge to speak up or be combative, and your conscious says, shut up. Don't be an idiot. And if you don't listen, you regret it. Well, the same thing is that when it tells you to speak up or to stand up, that you must do it as best you can to the level that it demands. And if you do that, it's very scary. especially for people that have been punished for standing up for themselves. I mean, in the past, you're going to have to navigate that. But if you do the practices and you get support, you'll be able to withstand that stress. So the stress is going to be between the old pattern that doesn't want you to do it out of safety, and you honoring the voice of reason, of conscience that says you must do this. And if you get through that hard spot, when it's a hard spot, I'm not going to lie to you, it sucks because you're so afraid and so overwhelmed because you're back where you used to be, right, years ago. But when you get through it and you go, oh my God, I survived. The world didn't end. And I stood up for myself. And then you feel this solidness in your body from that. And it changes your whole personal view. And you often get a lot of energy from it too. Like there's all this energy that comes up. And you're more resourced. You're more to you now because you've strengthened yourself. I recommend working on this as a primary goal, or lens, I should say. I mean, because I think it is a primary lens. All right, I guess that's it for now, and thanks, everybody. If you found this content helpful, please like and subscribe. You can look forward to more videos about how to overcome chronic illness and chronic pain.